Cool. Hey, wait a minute, what the hell?
Oh shit! Oh shit!
What is up, everybody? How you doing today?
Hello.
Let me go. Okay. Oh, yeah, that's right. There we go. Now Steve's screen is fixed. All right.
Wow.
Oh my God, here we go with that. Steve's gonna get all hurt now.
Wow.
A little tip, Steve, when streaming, right? Even when we're doing the show, you wanna look at your camera, right? You wanna let the audience know you're looking at them. It's about them. Oh man, how is everyone on this beautiful Sunday morning?
Good.
Look at that. See, we still got the chat window up on the left hand side.
Sweet. Let's glance at the camera.
Turns out Steve has a computer now. We're getting him set up, so he'll have a great looking stream like this.
Eventually.
Yeah. There's something I'm gonna have you do, and I'll tell you about it after the show.
Okay.
It'll be a minor improvement, and hopefully it'll cost you very, very little. But the performance gain you'll be able to launch OBS while using remote play with your PlayStation.
I was actually thinking about that last night
Yeah.
when I was trying to go to bed.
It explains why you couldn't sleep, because you got the show on your mind.
Yep, turns out something I started thinking about. I'm like, hey, I could probably do this eventually.
Yeah. Like, there's a lot of stuff I want to do. With a newborn, I don't have the time for it. Well, I mean, you know.
So I get it.
So just gotta wait for that. I just gotta wait for that little bastard to grow some.
Same. At least, shit, because their kids are about the same age almost.
2 weeks. There's a 2 week difference.
Literally a 2 week difference. So they're the same age as far as I'm concerned. Because another week she'll be 3 months. So.
And you know what? It's close enough in age that you can tell that we didn't purposely time this or anything. Well, because even if had we been like, hey, we're pregnant, it's like, well, that's 3 weeks, and then you would have needed another 3 weeks.
It's funny when I took my leave, the new patch just came out, so everyone's like, good job on that timing. I'm like, yep. Got 2 weeks off or the new patch, the recent biggest patch. So 3 months ago.
Oh man.
Good times, sort of.
So, Steve, what have you been up to this week?
I've been up to my 7 remake. I know
you went back and you added those days back. You said you were going to drop down to 1 a week, and now you're back up to 3 a week.
Same.
What is up, dude? You're making me feel like I got to get more time in.
Come on, you can do 1 more day. You can do 2 days, probably 1 week and 1 weekend. Well, now your weekends are kind of earmarked.
Yeah, weekends are earmarked for the wife and kids.
So Tuesday, Thursday, you could do.
Possibly. Here's Thursday. If I do Thursdays, it'll have to be a little later, which will be shorter stream. You know what I mean?
So 10 to 12, since you're up anyways.
Pretty much.
9 to 11. I mean.
Pretty much, and because the Mia's going back to school in a couple weeks anyways.
Mm-hmm.
So she has to be back on that bedtime.
So I mean, look at me dictating your stream schedule. But I figure if you're going to be up at midnight anyways because of Xander.
Yeah.
To feed him. So I mean, might as well capitalize. Shows I've been watching. I actually started watching Super again. Yeah, like literally yesterday.
Oh, did I kick that off? Because I started watching it with my son on Saturday mornings when I was getting up with him. And then, like, Mia came down and she was, like, catching the episodes and she was getting into it. Like, we just finished the tournament between Beerus and Champa.
Oh, the Tournament of Destroyers.
Yeah. Not the Tournament of the Universes.
Yeah, no, just the TOD. I think that's what they call the mini arc.
Yeah. Yeah, the
You,
childish squabble between Champa and Beerus.
which hilarious. You need to have your K-pop drama. So
Yeah.
I'll tell you this: the Zamatsu arc is really dragged out. So prepare yourself for like 80,000 episodes of the. You'll get to that eventually.
Okay.
Eventually, because that goes into the future Trunks arc, which isn't spoiler because it's like a 5-year-old, 5 years old, so it's past spoilers. But
Okay. Sounds good.
other than that, I've just been hanging with my daughter and watching her milestones. She
Nice.
starts to smile now, so I'm happy. What about you, buddy? Besides, I know you haven't been buying anything really, so.
I haven't. I mean, I bought a couple more games to put up on our eBay store. The price, I got it from an auction site, so the price was pretty good for it. And I did test them beforehand to make sure that everything worked perfectly.
Well, yeah.
Still doing God of War. I mean, I posted on our socials that I made some changes to my desk area.
Yeah, you said yesterday you tore your desk apart.
Mm-hmm. Well, I moved it all. So my monitor was on a TV wall mount, which had a whole bunch of hardware making it work. So I got rid of that. I put up an actual full motion monitor mount, and I had to take down all the sound panels that I had there. And I was like, well, I got these 4 Elgato wave panels. The big black octagon shaped ones.
Yeah.
So I took those off the stairway and I put, there was 4 of them. I put them around, you saw on the wall. And then I had a spare LED strip that I wrapped it in. So just a little bit of a spice up. And then I rerouted some cables and stuff just to clean things up and whatnot. I had an idea, Steve.
Oh, go on.
Because now my stairway down to the basement is now empty, so it's all hollow and echoey. I'm gonna find canvas printings of the Final Fantasy logos.
Ooh.
All of them.
Ooh.
I'm gonna stuff them with sound dampening stuff. Now, I've been looking around and I can use either the foam that's meant for that, or one person had a lot of help with towels. Just hand towels. So you layer hand towels inside. And then you put one over top and then you staple it to the frame.
I think towels would be interesting.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do too. So,
but pictures of on WarPoint on the Facebook page and the socials for if you do that when you do that.
Oh, definitely. Now the only thing was there's no overhead lighting on my stairway, but I do have lights built in that I built into the steps. So when you're coming down and it's dark, you don't have to worry about falling or anything. Old people things.
Life alert. Life alert.
Playing, other than God of War, there's this game, Naraka, Blade Point. It's a martial arts battle royale game.
Mm-hmm.
You can go in solo, duos, or trios. And it plays like Apex and Fortnite and Warzone, where the map slowly starts to shrink and you battle it out. My daughter has been playing it like crazy. I got to play a couple matches. Now, here's where it caters to not so sweaty people, where they mix it up with bots and actual players. And then as your level progresses, they use less bots.
Okay.
But there's a massive like gank.
What you mean?
Play style. So where like against other players, you're usually getting ganged up on. Because if you go in duos or trios, you can go in there with your whole team and just gank one person and just jump from person to person.
Oh, pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, with that, I did buy one steelbook.
Ooh.
I did buy one steelbook. Rocky 3. Now, I like it. It's simple, but it's elegant. The Rocky 4K steelbooks, they're all black and white, but Rocky is in red and white.
Nice.
Yeah. Simple, elegant. I like it. I just need 4 and 5 now. Which the steelbook community's gotten kind of big, so everybody's been buying them up, which of course means resellers have been, getting their hands on stuff and jacking prices up.
As always.
Yeah. But I do have my eye on a Diablo 4 steelbook. They're pretty cool. So.
Awesome.
Yeah. So that catches us up. To this.
Oh.
What?
One more. I might end up watching Game of Thrones.
You've never watched it?
Here and there by pieces, but I'm looking for an actual bingeable show. So I might dabble into some Game of Thrones.
It's worth it.
I know you guys are big fans, and talked about it for years. So I'm like, fuck it, I'll actually commit to a bingeable series.
There you go. So speaking on Dragon Ball, we did a lot of discussion about that. We actually these are the stories we're going to be talking about this morning. We do have a release date for DLC 5, which would be part 2 of the second chapter of DLCs. Which means now, because that's as of today, the 13th, I believe today's date is. Yeah. In 4 days. In 4 days will be the release. So now I actually have a reason to consider buying DLC, Chapter 2's Season Pass. So the next story we'll be discussing after that is we have a price leak for the Nintendo Switch 2. Nintendo hasn't given it an actual name yet. We just know it's the Switch 2. We're going to have a discussion, since we have a D&D player here who does actual campaigns, tabletop campaigns. We're going to have a discussion over quest difficulties and story progression because you're sleeping too much in game. And then we're going to close it out. We're going to have a nice long discussion. It's not going to be spirited because we are JRPG fans. But there's been a lot of discussion with Hideki Kamiya, who's the creator. I don't think he's the owner of Platinum Games, but he's the creator of the DMC series. He says you need to embrace the JRPG name. There's been discussion regarding, Naoki Yoshida has been, I don't want to say complaining,
And he's
about
not going to complain. He's too of a chill guy. He's not really a chill guy, but he doesn't really bitch a lot. But he does it with a purpose. So like Naoki, he's like a really complain, but he does scold people like Papa Yoshi.
So we have some Japanese developers have they're all up in their feels about the term JRPG. Steve sounds like he's got a sting about to happen on his house. So let's go ahead here. We're gonna go and moving on up.
Wow.
So let's talk about Kakarot. Let me restate this. They've finally announced the date for Kakarot's 5th DLC. We're focusing on the 23rd World Tournament, which if you've been a longtime fan of the show, you know that was the end of the Dragon Ball arc. And Dragon Ball was the story of Goku from childhood to young adult.
Which we were just talking about this pre-show.
Yep. And it's the 23rd World Tournament. It's the 5th DLC, and it's releasing on August 17th. Now, this DLC will introduce a unique ground battle mode with different gameplay mechanics, including a 10 count for knockdowns and an instant victory for knocking your opponent out of the arena.
So just like a martial arts tournament. That's nice.
There you go. Yeah. Now we're pulling this from, and I know it says MSN up top, but they pulled this from Game Rant. You okay, Steve?
Mm-hmm.
All right, good.
I'm good.
So, as you know, the 23rd World Martial Arts Tournament, we had some pretty good fights in that arc of the series. We had his fight with Tien. I know there's a longer his name's actually longer than that. It's like Tien Chu.
I'll be right
back.
Huh? Daughter.
Oh.
1 second.
Okay. So we're gonna go ahead here. What am I doing here? I need to go to here. Sorry, I just need to check something real quick. I didn't even know this, but there's Budokai Tenkaichi is still a thing. What are we doing here? Somebody's playing. That's Ghost of Tsushima. No one cares. Okay. What do we have going on here? Fans get what could be an encouraging sign regarding Budokai Tenkaichi 4 from an English voice actor. While Sonny Strait is more known for his work in anime than video games, he has lent his voice to the titles like Smite and Borderlands, in addition to playing the lead character in the Splosion Man series. For the most part, Sonny Strait's gaming career largely consists of tie-in games for anime franchises he's acted in, like Dragon Ball Z and One Piece. So I didn't know Budokai Tenkaichi was still going.
Oh, damn. That's old as shit, right?
Yeah. But apparently it's getting a update.
Nice.
Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi games feature Goku's loyal best friend Krillin and the late father Bardock as playable characters. Strait played the villainous General Blue. There are plenty. Didn't even. Okay.
You learned a thing.
I learned something new. You all good?
Yeah. She's this stubborn girl at ours. If she's not wrapped up in the potato, like a burrito, she'll like fuss.
Yeah, Xander's the same way. He now has to nap swaddled.
Yeah, so she'll like break out. So I'm looking into sleep sacks since she's bigger now.
Mm.
So you just put them in a sack, you zip them up, and they can't break out of their cocoon. So.
Well, my son can. He does it all the time.
Well, so does Squeak. She'll sit there even though it's like tight. Like I'll wrap it around her,
Mm-hmm.
then she'll still break out. So it's like you need to go to bed. You're swaddled. Go to bed. It's still early girl hours. You go to bed.
All right. So let's go back up here. We're gonna, and I can't even close this ad part. So there we go. All right. So, all right. Talking about Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, we have a date confirmed for DLC 5 that it's going to be August 17th, and it's going to focus on the 23rd World Martial Arts Tournament, which if you followed the Dragon Ball story arc, I believe that anime ran in the early 90s, if I remember correctly. That was the story of Goku from a child all the way up to a young adult. And the 23rd World Martial Arts Tournament was his big fight with King Piccolo.
Ooh.
And spoiler alert, that's when he spewed out an egg, which was Piccolo, and then he became King Kami.
God.
Or was that the king? No, because he was a.
So it was.
He was an overseer for the Earth.
Yeah. So.
Well.
Yeah.
We don't have to get into the whole thing.
Mr. Kami's the protector of Earth. He's
protector. That's the word I was trying to think of. Protector.
I think Guardian's actually, if you want to get technical, it's Guardian of the Earth, but same how different dress.
But this DLC will introduce a unique ground battle mode with different gameplay mechanics, including a 10 count for knockdowns and an instant victory by knocking your opponent out of the arena, which is something we see a lot of in the Dragon Ball arc. Everything turns into a tournament. Yeah. So we had some pretty good fights. We had his Goku versus Tien, Goku and King Piccolo at the time, along with several others, but it's kind of escaping my head right now. Like I said, August 17th for that. Now I'm really going to consider buying the season 2 the season pass for part 2 of their DLCs. I was struggling on how to word all that. But there was also another leak suggesting that the next DLC to close out the second part,
which is cool.
Yeah, which is dubbed the Peaceful World Saga, which kicks off Dragon Ball Super.
Mm-hmm.
Which brings this whole thing into a weird circle because the first DLC add-on for Kakarot is Lord Beerus. You going to Lord Beerus's world and training there, which is, like I said, it's a weird circle because it's not halfway. Well, I don't even say it's halfway through the Peaceful World arc.
You say you just started Super, right?
Yeah.
So you'll eventually. That's funny you mentioned because you'll eventually get the Beerus's world in the anime.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Like in Kakarot, you go to Beerus's world before the piece before.
Oh.
Yeah, like it's this whole weird circle.
Okay.
Oh, it says it down. We pulled this article from, it says MSN, but they pulled it from Game Rant. with this DLC focusing on Dragon Ball's World Martial Arts Tournament, it will feature all the battles that take place at the event, which includes the final battle between Goku and the Demon King Piccolo. This expansion can be considered a prequel to Kakarot itself, as it has iconic moments like the very first time audiences saw Goku grow from a young child into a young man. Yeah, and then they put out a nice little poster here, which I can't even see my mouse. But yeah, August 17th. And we got it down here. TN will also be playable in the World Martial Arts Tournament.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then they go on to talk a little bit here about the Peaceful World Saga, which takes place after the Boo Saga. It will be somewhat appropriate after releasing a DLC that focuses on the 23rd World Martial Arts Tournaments. Fans will just need to wait and see more news. So yeah, I had to get that. I saw this when I was looking up stories. I was like, I gotta get it. I gotta talk about it.
It's on my list still to get Kakarot because it's story related. It's not just random like the other ones were. So I'm actually interested in playing story. So like story.
See, like I am a little surprised that this game sold a lot better than it did, because I think this is now like the 12th game that follows the same story arc.
But they give you more immersion, not just fight you, like the previous ones.
Yeah, like I think it's the Tenkaichi games. Like it just does like overworld story that. Yeah.
It's like the first few ones on PS2. Like they're just mostly fighting, not really story. They're story, but not story.
Well, it's just kind of like overworld thing, and then it drops you into a battle. So, but yeah, August 17th, I'll definitely be picking it up. I think, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna grab it because, well, the Bardock saga was part 1 of the season pass 2 or DLC 2. So, I'm gonna grab it. Steve, I know you're thinking about it. You got a lot more important things to deal with.
It's on the list, though.
Let us know if you're going to grab it, what you think of this game, if you're playing it or not, because, like I said, this is like the 12th retelling of the same storyline. So, all right, we got that story. We're going to go ahead. Let's talk about it. I don't care.
Pokemon.
No one cares about Pokemon. Although that's a lie.
Wow.
That's a big lie. Pokemon's popularity is something that surprises me. It never dies off.
Nope. Just like, yeah. It's like Dragon Ball. Got Baldur's 3.
So yeah, we're gonna do, because I know Baldur's Gate and the JRPGs are gonna be big discussion, so we might as well just cover the Switch 2 real quick.
Okay.
So
that's fair.
So we have a price leak for the Nintendo Switch 2. Now we don't fully know what this thing. I don't think we fully know what this thing looks like yet. But an insider. Oh, hold on. Let me fix this here. We're pulling this from Tom's Guide. Now Tom's Guide, I've seen him a lot on Twitter or X. But a lot of insider talk on this website. So, and some of the stuff I don't care. Go away. I don't care.
$399. Gosh damn.
Yep, $399. Now that puts it a little bit more. No, well, PS5 digital.
Yeah.
So that's $50 more than their latest Switch OLED release. And $100 less than disc-based systems.
Better do
The
everything.
current gen disc-based. But this $399. The insider stated $399. That's the golden number. It's the price that works in terms of power of their new system. It's the price that works for them making a decent profit, and it's the price that they think works for the audience that they're trying to maintain. And well, Nintendo's always been like that. They don't cater to the masses.
Which I get that. I mean, they're good. It's just $3.99 is freaking pricey for a. Sorry, not really a handheld, but a handheld.
It is, but it isn't. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, it's like a handheld, but not a handheld. So I see where you're getting at. It's like,
yeah. But yeah, this was just an insider. Nintendo hasn't officially confirmed the Switch successor, which, I mean, the Switch came out in 2015, 2016, I think.
2017.
Okay. Yeah, because I know, like, Breath of the Wild had that weird, like,
no, not to correct you. They're trying to
Wii U Switch release. What's that?
So I didn't mean to like cut you off and correct you on the date, but I was reading 2017 was the Switch release.
Oh, yeah, it's right there in the article. Whatever. Look, if you got to interrupt me to correct me, I'd rather you do it than, you know, all of social media who has this big thing with correcting everybody, even on the smallest things. But though it's worth noting, Zippo is this insider that they're getting their info from. Zippo's sources did echo a rumor from earlier this week that the Nintendo Switch 2 will stick with an LCD screen rather than upgrade to an OLED, which is probably how they were keeping that price down but still getting a profit.
Well, if they keep it LCD,
so,
then they have to be $400.
Here's the thing also with OLED, dude. OLED suffers the same problem that plasma TVs had.
Yeah.
Which is if you leave it paused too long, you have screen burn-in.
Wow, 2023 still have to worry about burn-in.
According to noted gaming tipster Nate the Hate, the Switch 2 will pack a bigger 8-inch LCD screen and 512 gigabytes of storage. I don't remember how much the original one had, but I know.
Beefy, though. So that's beefy though, half a terabyte almost.
Yeah. The latter is promising news. Game file sizes only get larger with each generation, and it's already easy to fill a standard Switch up. Yeah, if you stack up on games and stuff, which, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people do, but I kind of don't. My library split between the PlayStation and the Switch. So, but I'm excited for more. 20s, like, so the newest Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom, has Switches running hot. And it's still locked in at 30 frames. Now, you can overclock them. There is custom firmware to overclock a Switch. But there was this whole big YouTube video I watched on it, dude. This guy, he overclocked it. Well, he had to 3D print an improved case because it had to have a bigger fan. He tore the back of the Switch apart. He replaced the thermal paste pads. He even applied thermal paste to the metal parts of the metal frame to just help disperse more of that heat. So, people are really finding ways to push their Switch to get more out of it because it's just been so long since, you know. Well, you know, we have Sony and Microsoft. They're constantly pumping out new consoles and stuff to keep the market's ever changing.
Do you think they'll eventually slow down on consoles?
Yeah. What
There has to be so much.
now that they are more and more like PC based, pretty
Mhm.
much, but you
Mhm.
can't get rid of those consoles because not everybody wants to make that initial like
Well, not
twelve
like
twelve
during a
hundred
console
dollar
making.
plunge.
Yeah, but like eventually slow down instead of a life cycle being 10 years, maybe 15 years or something. Because there's only so much you can do with a console, like especially with current. Like I'm sure they hit their own setting though ceiling of tech they can make
Um,
for now.
and well, I mean, people are hacking consoles all the time and stuff.
Well, I get console hacking. I'm just thinking like viability versus like I just want to make more money. Like
Yeah, not.
eventually they have to run out of ideas
I
for
get
the
what you're
for this
saying.
current for our lifetime, anyways.
Oh, I mean, Sony will never run out of ideas. They'll just go PS and the next number up. So,
Arcades PS12.
all right, that was a good joke to close out that one. All right, so are you ready for this Baldur's Gate discussion? Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, so we're gonna have more of a discussion now. I've played some D&D games. I even tried one campaign.
Was that the
But
one forever ago?
yeah, Rob's House.
Oh damn, that's been freaking forever. Holy crap.
So the discussion that I think is pretty interesting is in Baldur's Gate, as you now I'm going ahead and I'm messing all my words up. In D&D games, they're meant for difficulty. So I always approached D&D style games as JRPGs, where you just try to outlevel your opponent and just steamroll through the story, which doesn't work.
Nope.
Because as you level, your opponents also level.
Your RNG sucks.
Yeah. Well, I just even mean like, the first Dragon Age stuck heavily to the D&D rules. So there was no out leveling, like potions kept becoming scarce, and I wasn't able to finish the game because I was like, oh, I'll just max out my level.
Nope.
And just roll through the opponents. No, because even the tiny spiders that I was fighting were matching level with me.
Mm-hmm.
So this article is from IGN. And there's been a lot of discussion. They say there's been a lot of discussion in the Baldur's Gate 3 community about intersection of long rest, missable quest, and quest progression. Now, apparently, if you rest too much, like characters in a city are leaving or someone is time sensitive to go help, they're dying.
Which it's interesting. I'll give them that. It's definitely an interesting take on long rests because long rests are usually when you usually do long rests at the end of your sessions.
Mm-hmm.
So HP, etc. But them doing this where you can miss out on shit is kind of immersive. I kind of like it, but also
well, yeah, like if you take up a quest to save someone, if you decide fuck it, I'm gonna sleep for 2 days. Well, yeah, there's the potential of that person dying.
I get that. It's just an interesting take because I don't think it's being well received, if I'm remembering correctly.
Well, I mean, D&D games were never meant for the faint of heart when it comes to role playing.
I get that. It's interesting nonetheless that like you rest too long, you fuck off, then you wake up and people are dead, like they left.
Yeah.
Definitely interesting choice.
I mean, like you come up to you're supposed to meet someone at a village. You decide to stop outside that village and rest for 2 days. I mean, yeah, that person went, oh, fuck off. I'm going to move to the next city. I love it for that. That's why I'm excited to get in and play this game. So
never chatted about having sex with a bear.
Oh my God. No. If I can skip past that part, fine. But we have, for instance, one player reported a situation with an early quest involving a druidic ritual they wanted to stop. They claimed they went off to do some other things, but when they came back, the ritual had completed and they weren't given a chance to stop it. Multiple other users replied, suggesting the player may have taken too many long rests. Well, everyone talks about my immersion.
Right, my immersion.
My immersion. You can't look. That's the best Larian can do for giving you your immersion. I mean,
Okay.
What do you, as an actual D&D player, I should say? Because I can say I'm a D&D player, but I've only ever played Baldur's Gate games. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas you have done actual character sheets and roles and
nerd life.
So they go on to say, but is that really what's going on? We checked in with Larian Studios to see if long rests do, in fact, progress the clock forward. And this was their reply. It's not about how many long rests you take, but when you choose to take a long rest, you can have an effect. Or when you take a long rest, can have an effect. For instance, if you enter a town and see an inn on fire and you immediately decide to go to bed, that may have consequences.
That's fair. It's more like you fucked off, the shit burned down.
Yeah.
Fair enough. As far as from a D&D player perspective, it's actually a pretty cool feature. It has consequences. It's if you did this shit IRL.
So, well, here, Steve, now that you have a PC, Baldur's Gate and Baldur's Gate 2 came out in the early 2000s. You might actually be able to stream those.
Twitch?
We get you.
Twitch, Steam.
Yeah, that's where I bought my copies.
Put that on the near future list that I have starting to make a near future list.
Yeah, but they go on to say, from the answer from Larian leaves one unanswered question: what's happening? Then, with all those people reporting quests moving forward without their input, the answer varies based on the situation. But in most cases, it sounds like players are completing other quests elsewhere that are then influencing events elsewhere in the world. I think a lot of people have just grown too accustomed to the whole JRPG thing, where you just take on this big long list of quests and then you just start knocking them all out one by one, but the world doesn't move forward as you're playing.
Yep. Let's look at Final Fantasy. All this shit going on. Let me grind real quick, like in the OG7.
Yeah. Dude, yeah. Yeah, all the memes we see on social media about JRPGs where the world's burning, but you're just off in the distance with a fishing rod.
That Futurama one was Zap Brannigan.
Yeah.
I came as soon as I could. Meanwhile, I'm being Chocobo Breeder. All that shit.
So this additionally, it's worth pointing out that moving from Act 1 to Act 2 will automatically complete most possible Act 1 events and make it impossible to backtrack and pick up those dropped threads. So, if you beelined your way through the first act, then wondered why you missed stuff back in Emerald Grove, that's likely the reason. Yeah, I mean, I like it. I like the immersion. Things move on. If there's things there, maybe other people got it, maybe monsters got it, It's like they say, the unstoppable march of time.
Which might actually correct people into actually doing quests instead of just fucking off.
I like this. I like this.
not like penalizing them, but like, hey, if you don't do this, you're gonna miss out on X, Y, A, B, C through X, Y, Z.
Yeah.
Cool.
This is I am now more excited than ever to dive into Baldur's Gate 3. And I know you and Rob cannot wait for a chance to make fun of me because I do not know D&D rules.
Oh hell yeah.
Like
I'm stream already, bud.
I'm waiting to see you guys screaming at your screen that I'm putting points into a stat that has nothing to do with my character. Like, oh, I got a warrior. Let me give him just a little more intelligence so he's not such a dumbass.
For this God of War, that's so I can sit there.
You cut out, dude. I couldn't hear the rest of that joke.
I said, hurry up and finish God of War.
Oh, I am. I'm steaming right through it. I'm going to roll straight through it, much like I'm going to try and roll through Baldur's Gate 3. I'll try to take up stuff that, only progresses and builds my character. But, oh my God, I cannot wait to play Baldur's Gate 3 now. All right. We got that done. We have one more story. And this one is going to be a bigger discussion. And there's something I can do now. Where is it? Here we go. No, wait a minute. Oh, that's because it's not on here. My soundboard's not on the show stuff because we try to keep it more.
Yeah.
I'm trying to keep it more professional. Oh God, do I need to get through God of War now? Oh, I want to play fucking Baldur's Gate. Here's the thing that it doesn't. Hold on, let me pull this up here. Oh, we have an article here. No, dismiss. PlayStation 5 players will have the best version of Baldur's Gate 3 from day one. What is the date? Although we're not going to have one thing though in the PlayStation version of Baldur's Gate 3. We're not going to have the junk glitches where people are hanging brain outside their clothes. Baldur's Gate 3 will release on September 6th for the PS5, but digital deluxe owners get 72-hour early access to the game's opening act. Which, from what I saw, dude, there's an article, a lot of players are still stuck in the opening act.
Oh.
This game is, oh my God, this game is not for the faint of heart, and I cannot wait for it. No, I will not do your survey for a chance to win a PlayStation 5. So, hold on. We have the digital deluxe, which is $80, which is $10 more than just a regular. 72-hour early access to Act 1, Divinity Bard Song Pack, exclusive dice theme, treasures from Revellion Pack, Revelin, I think that's how it is, Adventures Pouch, and bonus digital content. I should see what the PC requirements are. So. All right, now that I'm done playing around with that stuff.
A lot.
Yeah.
I'm assuming it's going to be a lot of PC requirements for Baldur's, but...
Hold on. PC specs. So, I don't want Windows Central. And I don't want to open my Steam. I think this website was pretty good. So, recommended specs, 16 gigs of RAM, A GeForce GTX 1060 or an RX 580. Ooh, raw. Steve, you meet the specs. You have a 1660 in yours or 1650.
Yeah.
Intel Core i7 4770. No. 4770. That's a previous gen than what you have.
Oh.
So yours may be an i5, but it's generations newer.
Okay.
Yeah. So an Intel Core i5 4690. You have a 9770. If I remember correctly from what we were looking at last night.
Like that.
Yeah. So all we need to do is up your RAM. And then we can tweak some things. And we can get you. Oh my God, I'm so excited for this.
I need to text your woman, but like leave Brendan his Baldur's alone. They need some special time.
Now my only thing is, so I have a 3050 Ti in my laptop, but it's a mobile graphics card, so it doesn't have the full thing. The full specs of a graphics card, because it's mobile. It's a dumbed down version. But see, now this one here says the minimum is a 970 for at least 4 gigs of VRAM or better. It's going to be a problem because I think mine only has 4 gigs of VRAM. But I'm going to need more VRAM. I should have upgraded my laptop when I had the chance.
Wow.
Well, not long ago, there was a big sale on laptops.
That's fucking with you, bud.
I know, but I'm kicking myself because I missed out.
Dilly dally chilly shally. So
this laptop that I was thinking about upgrading to, so my laptop has a Ryzen 7 5800H, which is the laptop version of that CPU, because it's soldered to the motherboard. This laptop had a Ryzen 9, which is a big step up. This laptop had a 3050 graphics card. That laptop had a AMD Radeon 6770, which once again would have been a big jump to performance. And I think it had 6 or 8 gigs of VRAM. And all I would have had, it came with 16 gigs of RAM, which I currently have 32, but I put those upgrades in myself. Yeah, I put those upgrades, that upgrade in myself. But if I could find a buyer of this laptop, I could buy that other one and do more.
No, I do need a laptop.
All right, I'm getting off track. My ADD's kicking in, and like my mind's...
My ADHD is in another place than you are.
Yeah. It doesn't help because we keep getting each other off track.
It makes good content, right?
That's why I have half a dozen of other projects that I started here in my basement. So, all right. Let's close out this beautiful morning show here with a nice discussion. This is something that it's an article I've seen popped up on a lot of social media. And that is Platinum Games, Hideki Kamiya.
So he was a co-creator. So we were talking about that earlier.
Yeah, he's the co-creator of Devil May Cry and Bayonetta.
The actual company.
Oh, the actual company was the co-creator.
He's the co-founder, my bad.
Oh, he's a co-founder of the company.
Wrong words. Sorry.
We're just messing this all. We're just bouncing him from category to category. But anyways, the big thing here is he wants you to, he thinks Japanese developers should embrace the JRPG name. So,
can I say this real quick? Because America is dumb. They're racist. Not like racist, but they're the West. Not even just America. The whole West has a bad rep. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying like white people are racist. I'm saying not just America, but all the West. Let's face it, Europeans.
It's like
you know
fuck
how
white people.
I mean, you're half white, so you're half an asshole. So
Okay.
no, I'm not doing some SJW. I'm saying like it's been known that the West are a bunch of
Whoa. Put the SJW card back in your pocket, okay?
You know what I'm getting at, though. It's. I can see why there's, I guess, connotation to it, and how this guy's saying embrace it. Which, dude, ever since I was a kid, you were kids. I never thought of like negative Japanese when I thought of a JRPG or even anime for that matter.
So this whole thing stems from, which it's funny that you say that Americans are the racist, because as we talked about a couple weeks ago, Square Enix is actually the racist.
Well, actually, so I think I was talking to Lucci the other day that actually Japanese, like everyone's always like racist. I'm like, Japanese are xenophobes. Everyone's racist. Everyone's racist, buddy.
So this stems from the Final Fantasy 16's producer, which they're selling them short. It's not just 16. It's Final 14. Fantasy 16 and 14's producer, Naoki Yoshida, that it became a different subgenre of video games when Japanese developers had no say in the matter. So he says there was a time when this term first appeared 15 years ago. And for us as developers, the first time we heard it, it was like a discriminatory term. Which I don't know, because I've never seen that part of the argument. Now, here's the thing. You had, I don't know if it's necessarily negative, but when he's talking about 15 years ago, when you heard JRPG, it was
7.
Yeah, like, well, I mean, like, brightly colored characters, anime stylish character designs, sometimes hypersexualized female characters.
That's just the culture.
Yeah.
It's anime, but on a video game. It's gonna be extra. It's gonna have
for Western RPGs, which I think one of the bigger ones was Wild Arms. It played more like it was
Sounds familiar.
Wild Arms was on PlayStation 1. You probably, like me, only played Wild Arms 4, which was more of a Western. And by Western, I mean like revolvers, desert, like out west back in the day. Trying to keep track of what he's doing. He later clarified to IGN that we don't go into development thinking we're going to make a JRPG or we're going to make a Western RPG this time.
They just want to make a good game, pretty much.
Yeah, we're just going to make the RPG that we want to make. We're going to make that action RPG that we want to make. And I get it. I mean, there are JRPG groups that I'm in on Facebook where they've full-on arguments are breaking out over what qualifies as a JRPG.
Oh, God, purist.
Yeah. Like, there's a group that says Dark Souls is a JRPG because it's made by a Japanese developer and it's all the elements of a role-playing game.
Doesn't make it Japan, like, I almost said Japan anime because that might be negative, but Japan, I used to call Japanese anime Japanime. That could be technically racist connotations or negative connotation, but
yeah, but
the way I look at it, like Dark Souls, yeah, it might be an RPG, but or made by a Japanese developer, but I think there's a certain amount of a checklist that makes something a JRPG, like good story. Well, not a good story, but like fantastic story. Killing God.
Yeah, like the meme we see all the time is chapter 1 of a game in a JRPG hey, I need you to collect me a bunch of cherries so we can bake a cherry pie. And then final chapter is, come on, we need to have this final battle and kill God.
Yeah, like yeah, right? Or like I'm just thinking spitballing, like Kill God, have a badass chorus, have good music, like Yumatsu level music, Ahsoken music, just fantastic music that really sets the tempo, not just your doom and gloom like in Dark Souls and anything like
Yeah.
that. You know, that makes sense.
Yeah. But reacting
like,
to this conversation, Platinum Games producer Yuji Nakao said he had the opposite viewpoint of Yoshida and that JRPGs as a subgenre are unique. They are. Now, here's the thing. When I hear this JRPG is coming out, now back then, like 10, 15 years ago, before we were so graphically advanced in games, when you looked at a JRPG game, you knew you were getting a checklist of things. One, you were getting anime style character designs. Two, you were getting such a flushed out world and story that you had roughly in the ballpark of about 100 hours of gameplay.
Pretty much.
You were also getting protagonists and characters that had, maybe some things going on, struggling with things that, that's kind of one of the things that attracted me to JRPGs was you had people struggling with some things in the game that you could relate to.
It got you involved.
Like you had your emo stage of characters in the game.
With Cloud Strife, Squall. I can't remember. I actually still didn't play through 9. I started 9 a while ago, but even at that, like, there's still some kind of struggle, not just opposite of like a Western games where like the protagonist is welcomed and he's established and just the typical tropes and shit.
Yeah.
But JRPGs though, like I always know that look at 16. I think we were gonna like this kind of segues into 16. Like everyone's debating if it's a real Final Fantasy game just because it's set in Western or it's set in like Europe, basically medieval time. It's still a fucking Final.
And that was another thing that you have the JRPG purists that if it's not
turnstile,
if your characters aren't lined up in a row, if there's but like
I love
so
turnstile,
the earlier Tales of games, they used almost like an isometric. It was a top down but at an angle, but your characters had free movement left to right, and the battle played out that way. So over the years, they did kind of change. They did kind of evolve on the whole turn-based, but yeah, the whole big thing was a lot of people were saying if it's not turn-based, it's not a JRPG.
Another argument, this is kind of segues and goes into it, is that people are saying that 16 is so easy just because it's one button. Look at 7. 7's technically one button.
Button. 7 remake, but they changed that battle system because they wanted to keep up with the modern times of the game evolving.
I agree with yes and no, but even like turnstile, you literally just press one button. Technically 2 if you want to hit like spam the ATB recharge, but still you still use one button.
Actually,
even in old school JRPGs.
If you want to see how turn-based combat still is going on in today's world, look at arguments on social media. It is quite literally turn-based combat.
Right. But I mean, I could talk more and more on this. Obviously, I could talk hours on this, but it's honestly, I'd rather play JRPGs than Western RPGs. Really. Better story. I mean, better music for sure. I'm all about the music. I'm sure you are too. Like Yumatsu, Soken, like a couple of them are just fucking epic.
And I was gonna say that's another when you look at your checklist of what you're getting when you buy a JRPG, that's another thing. You are getting the best music that they can put together on the hardware.
For no reason. Even back in the MIDIs, like from the older Final Fantasies, it still slapped. It still was good. It was still memorable. Like 20 years later.
Oh yeah, you're gonna have a hard time topping One Winged Angel.
Those Who Fight Further.
Hmm.
I mean, it's not quite Sephiroth's Latin, but Those Who Fight Further. So
Those Who Fight Further. Is that 14?
No, that's the 7.
Oh.
The boss music from 7. Those Who Fight Further.
I'll have to go back in. It's been a while since I finished that game.
No, but like I said, that still stuck in my head even 20 years later, 15, 20 years later. I still love Those Who Fight Further. That was from a fucking JRPG.
Yeah.
And of course Sephiroth, because it's fucking Sephiroth.
So, but I mean, I think Yoshida.
He's not even mad. He's just Yoshida is a very quiet man. Well, he's not really quiet, but he's very objective. He's not just being petty. He's just for a reason. He's not just being one of those extra.
I think he's listening to the wrong portion of the gaming community. Oh, yeah, I mean there are the people that say, "Oh, when they use the term JRPG, they're using it as an insult towards people."
Yeah, slur.
Because there are those in that community of the JRPG that they're neckbeardy argument guys. They're overly obsessed with anime characters. I half the 14 community of guys that play as girls.
Oh God,
Steve. Yeah, I know.
I might play as a cat boy, but I'm not a freaking. I can't. I don't get it. I know a couple of people who play characters, and the best thing they say, I play like you're fucking weird.
Yeah, I was just messing with you, dude.
No, you're good. This is something I'm adding personally about that. I know you're it's just like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
But I gotta say, I fully agree with Kamaya on this. Yeah. JRPG, it's
own the JRPG thing.
Own it. It is awesome.
It's a fucking badge of honor because, like I said, JRPGs might not be the best graphically, but the fucking stories are.
Listen, there's a reason why a lot of JRPG series date back decades ago, and they're still going. They're still selling. They're still thriving.
Other than a couple of Western, I can't even say American Western games. Is like you're right. There's maybe some, but a lot of JRPGs still stick in us old people's heads.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Final Fantasy has been going since the late 80s. Dragon Quest, well, it started as Dragon Quest. Wait, was it? No, it was Dragon Warrior. Now it's Dragon Quest. That's been going since the mid 80s.
So look at it that way. People still remember all those old JRPGs compared to a lot of Western games.
You have the Tales of series. Tales of started back in the early mid 90s on the Super Nintendo. Star Ocean dates back to the Sega Master System, which was the late 80s, early 90s.
Wow.
Wait, let me think here.
Don't hurt yourself.
Maybe no, I mixed them up. That's Phantasy Star. Phantasy Star started back in the Sega Master System. Which that's evolved. That went from, I mean, it's still a JRPG. It went from a turn-based system to now it's an MMO that I played a couple times.
But the point being is that even if Nagoki looks at it, how if he would see that people are with him on the JRPGs are badass. Like they're such good fucking stories.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all pretty much the same, but they're told different. They're same, but they're still different. They're still unique. They still do unique things about them. Bosses, characters.
Yeah.
And badass music. Just, it might be. I mean, I love Naoki, and like I said, he's not really Naoki's more like, especially when it comes to the 14 community or even 16,
Mm-hmm.
he's like, gotta cut the negativity out. So I don't think he's really butthurt about the whole term JRPG, and I feel like I'm like a Naoki Yoshida like ologist over here. I follow this guy with a great, like he really intrigues me. So like
Yeah.
maybe he'll eventually turn around, but you know
Mm.
he's still gonna make his games.
Oh yeah.
That's all I have to say about that.
So, but yeah, that is. I mean, JRPGs will forever get love. As long as they don't go too Western, they don't lose their identity. Oh, and then just made Steve lose his camera because I'm messing around with the screen.
Wow.
I know I did that to you, and I'm sorry. JRPGs will forever get love from me.
Okay, even my daughter.
We have another one. We have another story that I'm going to be keeping my eye on, which is the next game in the Tales of series. So, the one I was talking about that I mixed up with Phantasy Star Ocean. That dated back to, I want to say, PlayStation 1.
Mm-hmm. So I tried playing it, and it wasn't turnstile like 7, so it was really hard for me to adapt to because I was used to like turnstile games. So it was definitely interesting. I want to go back and eventually play it since I'm better at adapting to turnstile.
All right, so I stopped that one. All right, that was the last story for the morning, dude. We are. Are you good? Is Squeaks freaking out?
She's starting to, yeah.
Okay. Well, then we're gonna wrap up the show here. Some nice discussion here. So,
absolutely.
But Steve, what do you got planned for the rest of the day?
Daughter aggro, and probably watch some stuff with her. Just hang out with her. See if I get her to smile more. She'll smile more for me.
I have all kinds of running around to do. Maybe I can convince the wife to stop at a store or two so I can, do some window shopping.
But babe, I've been good. I've been a good husband. Please, please.
Mom, can I get it, please? Please, please, please. Mom, can I get it? Can I get it? Can I get it?
I remember she said as long as you pay. I remember a while ago we were talking. I think when you actually several times, and the last time was when we helped you move into your new house, and we were just talking bullshit, and she's like, Brendan pays his shit pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah. She doesn't really care. No, so for like my game collection and stuff, here's the thing. I have a rule that I kind of set. Well, it's not really a rule that I set. It's something that her and I agreed upon. So, we pay our bills, we do our things, we kind of keep our finances a little separate, so we, retain our independence as far as our money goes. But
which works.
If it's something expensive, we run it by each other. Just kind of like that mutual respect for each other.
Which is admirable as fuck. That always sticks to my head. It's like, damn, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah. Because I see guys that they go, oh, fuck this, I'm going to buy this and that, and then it causes problems in the marriage. It's just not worth it. Show my wife the respect, hey, I'm looking at this is how much it costs, But so wrap that up. Steve will be back tomorrow, which hopefully tonight, maybe tomorrow morning, he can go through and get himself set up on OBS, figure out, the whole remote play with his PlayStation on the computer, get that all hooked up and synced to it. And
so more than likely I'm probably going to do that for my next stream series. You know,
Okay.
maybe. I mean, I'll look into remote play, obviously, and just toy around with that.
Yeah.
But either way, dabble into OBS
Yeah.
streaming that way.
All right. Well, there you go. All right. So yeah, be back tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Steve will be playing Final Fantasy VII Remake. And then Tuesday, more God of War as I steamroll through that so I can get the Baldur's Gate 3. Oh God, I'm so excited. That game is going to drive me crazy. That I'm going to love it, just like Dark Souls. So, Steve, enjoy the rest of your day. I can hear your daughter in the background.
Yeah.
Thanks for hanging out, everybody, and I'll catch you. Well, Steve and I will catch you tomorrow night for Final Fantasy. All right, everyone, have a good night, or have a good rest of your day. Later.